my God.
Very good.
It even sounds like a tree.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. It's kind of scary. I don't like it.
Drew just wants a hug.
I really don't like it. Oh, it's kind of scary. I don't like it. So today we're sitting down with one of the top cosplayers in the world, Brandon Hillock at Fanboy Brandon, right, on Instagram.
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing cosplay?
Probably since '96, because I loved Halloween was my favorite like holiday, and I would always have like 3 different costumes on Halloween because I couldn't make up my mind. So I would change out. My grandmother, God bless her, made all my outfits, so she would just make them all. So I changed at school, and then when I went trick-or-treating, that was different. And if there was a party for the school, I would have a different outfit for that. So then when my friend told me, hey, there's this convention that sometimes people dress up at, it's San Diego Comic-Con, I was like, oh, let's go check it out. And I wore my grandma made Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi. And compared to what I walked in on, though, costume-wise, it was literally like pajamas. Like, I had a plastic lightsaber. Like, it just was like, it's just so put together. And they have like full stormtroopers. I'm like, how did they get this armor? So that's when the obsession began. It's funny because 10 years ago, trying to put together a costume took maybe a year to 2 years because the internet wasn't huge yet, to be honest. Like, this is like very early stages, like AOL chat rooms.
That's
so,
awesome.
yeah, it's like
AIM. Remember that, guys?
So putting a costume together was a nightmare, but after about 2 years, I got my first young Obi-Wan because we started seeing the footage from episode 1. And I kept thinking, oh, that's okay, this is the one I just need this one good costume and I'll wear it every single con. Like, no, I needed a new one every single one.
So Comic-Con is like the big granddaddy master. Is that like the crowning, like the Oscars of cosplay, you'd say?
Yeah, I would say it still is like that. I mean, the cosplay syndicate has dropped a little bit because it's really hard to get tickets nowadays. So I actually have a little bit more fun cosplaying at like Stan Lee's Comic-Con because it's a little bit chiller. It's a little bit like Comic-Con used to be. You can get a ticket on the same day. You can walk in. Whereas Comic-Con, it's like winning the lottery to try and get in there now. So, yeah.
But you got in because you're a famous cosplayer.
I did get in. I get lucky with that a little bit with the professional badge. So, yeah.
Well, like what inspires you to pick a character?
Well, if I've seen the movie and I get really into it and everything like that. But nowadays, I turned it, into my job.
And your company is called Character Masters, right?
Yeah, Character Masters. You can go to charactermasters.com. Huge Yelp reviews. It's nuts now. So, like, I've been doing that for 10 years because when I was cosplaying and got the role of Captain Jack Sparrow at Disneyland, that was the beginning of like first time getting paid to do a character. And then I actually did do Hollywood Boulevard a couple times.
That's dope.
Yeah. So, well, here's the funny thing. The funny thing about Hollywood Boulevard is I made more money in a day there than I did at Disneyland. So if you pick a character that's good and it's hot and it's during the summer when it's like tourists are there, I made $500 a day. Like it just once. It was dirty and it was hot and I'll never do it again. But I mean, there's actually good money to be had out there. That's why there's
Disney, hope you're not watching.
You know nothing. But yeah, so I did that, and then after when I was doing Captain Jack at Disneyland, there were people that worked at Disney that heard I had my own outfit and were like, hey, would you come to my kids' party? And they started to pay me to come to those. And then when my run with Disney was done, I just started doing Jack and got hired. I've gotten to go to Austria twice, Hawaii, New York. Like, people have flown me all over the place to be Captain Jack. And then when Pirates started to die down, I was like, what else do I have in my repertoire that would be like popular? And Star Wars was the next thing. So I had Vader and all that. I'm like, I'm going to put together a Star Wars thing. And that took off from there. And ever since then, all of this has just been like a combination of fun and work. I've turned my hobby into a job, which is
that's the dream.
Yeah,
that's literally the dream. We all just want to we want to get paid to do what we love to do.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a lot of fun. If like competition out there, there's been plenty of kid party companies and stuff like that, but I always keep that Comic-Con mentality that it needs to look like we walked straight off the set. We've been hired by Gwen Stefani, Sugar Ray for his son. We were Spider-Man. So now we're getting hired by like Hollywood types that want that movie quality showing up at their houses. So as opposed to getting the store-bought like Star-Lord, I dropped the $2,500 on getting everything as accurate as possible. Like the helmet's $700, the coat's like I said $12, and it's just like it gets up there. I mean, and it's eventually they some of them make their money back, some of them don't. I bought the R2D2, so a remote controlled R2D2 to enter parties, but I've always R2's been my favorite character since I was 2, so I really wanted R2 since I was like 2 years old. So now I justified it, but yeah, everybody wanted him, so he made his money back, which is nice. He's $10,000. $10,000 for a working remote controlled R2D2.
He's so legit though.
Yeah. Eventually I'll do a Marvel party for D23, because D23 it's basically Disney's convention. Which is, so you want to wear just Disney outfits to that. So it's just endless, really. Wow. Yeah.
Wow, I feel like there's just so much to talk about, but we'll never cover it all.
I couldn't play an instrument, so this is all I can do.
This is your art, and you're making a living off of doing your art, which is fantastic. So thank you so much for chatting to us.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thank you so much.